Yeah, this is another TentTalk, and today I have the pleasure to have a talk with Sir John Hegarty. He doesn't need a lot of introduction. I think the world of advertising admires him tremendously. So my first question is, John, how is the wine this year?
Well, actually, because we're sort of a May 09, we're talking about 08, and the 08 harvest was very, very good. Bit dry, so production was down a bit, but quality of the grapes exceedingly good. So high hopes for the next bottling.
John, we have been starting class number 4 here with the spring intake. Everyone was really excited about sharing your point of view, the 10 reasons why this is the best time to be in advertising. And there was one thing that really struck to my mind when you said you are very much focused on turning intelligence into magic. So tell a little bit more about it.
Well, I think one of the things that agencies don't think about enough, and I think our value to our clients, the real value that we ultimately bring is obviously, you know, it's about developing brands, but beyond that, it is the creative ability to transform a brand from being just good to being outstanding. And that's why I use this term, intelligence into magic. The intelligence is the great strategic thinking that we're given as creative people, that sort of tells us this is where you need to be, these are the values of the brand, this is what it should be doing. And then our job, creative people, is to turn that intelligence into a piece of magic that captures people's imagination and transforms and has the potential to transform the value of that brand. And I think that's the thing that we don't do enough of.
Yeah. Well, you said you are not in the business of problem solving, yeah? Because I mean you are in the creative business, yeah? And it is not just solving about problems. How do you think about that?
Well, it's a sort of provocative point, and I make it to make a point, so to speak, which is, you know, a lot of times people talk about the industry and they say, yes, you know, I'm a creative person, I'm a problem solver. I'm not sure you really are. The value you give an agency, the value you offer to a brand is to create a piece of magic. And that isn't about problem solving. The planners, the sort of marketing people do all that. Your job is to inspire people to come to a brand. And I think when we talk about problem solving all the time, we sort of slightly denigrate the real value of what we bring to the marketplace, which is this creation of a piece of communication that can transform. And I think as a creative person, I'm thinking about inspiration rather than problem solving. I'm trying to inspire somebody to come to something. And obviously it's within a certain area and the strategy gives me that, but that's what I'm really trying to do. And the more we talk about problem solving, the more we sort of, in a way, demean the value of what it is that we do.
I mean, if you look at agencies, are they brands? Are they distinct from each other? Or is it some kind of, hey, we are in the idea business, but have not nailed really what kind of ideas?
I think that's a very interesting point. I think one of the problems in our industry, and it's been a problem that's been growing over the last 20 or 30 years, is that agencies aren't themselves brands specializing in doing the kind of work that they believe in. I think there aren't enough agencies where the creative voice is senior enough and being listened to. So, you know, we have a situation whereby there's been a merging of these agencies where you can't really distinguish one from another. And I think that's very sad for our industry, because what we're not doing because of that is developing different points of view. I mean, if you look at architecture, You know, you look at the different styles, the different beliefs, the different kind of thought processes that go into putting up buildings. Architects have a kind of point of view. If you look at a musician will have a point of view about what it is that they're creating. I mean, other businesses will have creative business will have a point of view. We have fallen into absolutely that trap of, agencies, when the client says, what time is it? What time would you like it to be? We're trying to be all things to all people. And I think that's a great sadness. As I say, it's not developing different viewpoints, it's not developing different thought processes, it's not developing different ways of working. We're all becoming very much the same.
Coming back to the property you sort of have claimed and on, and obviously has built your organization around it, irreverence. What did it deliver in terms of being competitive in the marketplace?
Well, I think the thing about irreverence, which I like, and it's represented as the black sheep of the family, the black sheep that zags when everybody else zigs. The point about that is it constantly questions. It constantly asks why. Why does it have to be that? Why is it like that? And I think the most important word almost a creative person can use is constantly just ask why. Why? Yeah. When somebody says something, why? Yeah. And you don't realise how
fresh and young.
Yeah. And you don't realise how much you start out by just accepting certain things rather than saying, well, why does it have to be like that? And I think if you do that, and I obviously talk about irreverence, I think you create in your culture a constantly questioning culture, a restlessness that challenges, and I think it not only works for advertising, it works for organisations, it works across a broad breadth of skills that keeps you fresh, keeps you young, keeps you constantly trying to say, we can do this better.
Well, when you say, while the others zig, and so I zag, in terms of leading clients, I mean, this approach clearly suggests that you're leaving the norm of the existing, you're taking the client to a new place, which is not always easy to sell, or making the client buy into those thoughts, because there's risk involved. You know that? We love risk, but there's risk involved. And we are in a kind of, not in a very risk-taking environment all the time. So leading the clients, do the clients already expect that from the beginning, from your agency? Or is it as hard for you as for the others to sell something that is off the norm?
Well, I think it's never easy. But I would say that when clients come to us, they know that they're not going to get the ordinary. And that's the value of being a brand. That's if you walk into a Porsche showroom, you kind of know the car is going to be expensive and it's only going to have 2 seats. You don't walk into a Porsche showroom and open the door of the car and look at it and go, oh, why aren't there 4 seats? You kind of know. So you're predisposed. And I think in a way for us, clients are predisposed to accept something that's going to be a bit different, it's not going to be the same, that's in a sense what they came for, but it's still hard. Because in a way, often a lot of clients go, oh, I didn't think it was going to be that different. I wanted something like that they've seen already. So they suffer a little bit of that. So we still have to work very hard at convincing them, but at least the value of being a brand, the value of your reputation, does mean they walk through your doors going, this isn't going to be like everybody else.
Yeah. Well, leading people is actually a skill of its own. Yeah? When you think about the psychology and the business we're in, we're more down than up in reality. So how do you take care of people?
I think the most important thing you can do for creative people is have belief in them. Make them believe that they can produce the best work you've ever seen. And you give them confidence, because in the end I think there is an element of confidence about creativity. You feel you can do it, you can dare yourself to do it. Should I be doing that? And that sense of relaxation that you get and build up in yourself helps you create better work. But it'll only happen if that creative person genuinely believes that the people leading the company have faith in them. And you've got to have faith in people.
Yeah. John, you've become a role model leader. How do you lead yourself?
Well, I think the most important thing is to really appreciate where we are and what we're doing. I think we work in a fantastic industry. I think it's incredibly exciting. You know, I get up in the morning and I go into the office and I'm surrounded with sort of really, really exciting people at BBH. And my great regret is I don't have enough time to spend with all the people I like to spend time with. I just don't get the time. But, you know, the answer is to just remain excited by it. And the instant you're not excited by it, time to go. Go.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what are your interest fields? Where do you refill yourself? Yeah?
Well, I think, you know, the other thing to do is that the most important thing is to do, and I always say to people, you know, I work in advertising, I don't live in advertising. Just get out, read books, read magazines, go to art shows, go to the theatre, watch movies, just talk to people, watch people. You know, I'm thinking of doing a presentation about creativity when I'm going to take all the work I've done and show how it came out of an incident, or I've watched somebody or something like that. And it, you know, when I look back at my work, what I did is I put my life into my work. You put you into your work, and I think I define creativity as an expression of self. And I say that because I think a lot of people say music is the greatest of all art forms. Well, I think it isn't. I think it's the second greatest of all art forms. I think life is the greatest of all art forms. So if you engage with life and you take what you see, what you believe in, what you love, and you put it into your work, I think you stand a chance of doing great work and being constantly kind of engaged with that work. And the way you do that is by constantly refilling yourself. You know, if you're not constantly filling what you're seeing and doing and being turned on by, you know, it won't be reflected in your work. You'll become stale.
Yeah, when you think about the industry, you know, I mean, we have our companies, but there is other companies from the industry. How important is it to care about the state of the art of the industry?
Well, I think it's incredibly important, and it does sort of sadden me slightly. And one of the reasons I did the talk about this is the best time, 10 reasons why this is the best time to be in advertising, is that I sense there's a lack of belief in our future. There's a lack of kind of confidence in what we're doing, and you know, digital technology is going to take it away, and far from it. It's the most exciting time to be around. Technology has never been a barrier to creativity. It's always been a spur to creativity, and that's what we must understand. Technology is helping us be creative in lots more ways, and we must appreciate that and not be afraid of it, but just embrace what's going on out there. But remember to have pride in what we do, and pride, and be able to say to people, when you say, oh, I work in advertising, or what do you do? Be able to talk about something, they go, oh, I've seen that, yeah, that's really good, I like that. And that's brilliant.
That is what, yeah. And actually going out, I mean, what you've done today, I mean, you just said there are many people you want to see, but you don't have all the time, but you take the time to come to the school, sit down with the people, share your thoughts. You are a fantastic industry representative, and I think that is why we all.
I'll start going red in a minute. Okay.
No, that's why we all love you, and that is also why the Queen had, you know, the time to see in you a real special person.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Well, that was actually quite a weird sensation, really, when I found out I was going to be given a knighthood. Because, you know, you spend your life in doing what I'm doing, thinking, you know, I'd like to get another black pencil, another D&AD black pencil. Another, you know, Grand Prix at Cannes would be pretty good.
Suddenly
Something for the one show, and then suddenly comes along and says, "Actually, we're going to get a knighthood." You go, "What? I don't have any ability to relate to that." Yeah. But it was fantastic, and what I liked about it, it was given to a creative person for advertising, so it recognised creativity in advertising. So I've accepted it on behalf of all the creative people in our business, and in the end, that's what our business is about. It's a creative business.
John, thanks so much for being here. We have another speech coming up. Yeah?
Indeed.
Will be also
Making me work hard
on the website. Work hard. Yeah? Under the title Irreverence. We are looking forward. Yeah? And thanks for taking the time. Sir John Hegarty.
Michael, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.